20% of your customers today are going to produce 80% of the results. Let me just repeat that again. 20% of your customers are going to produce 80% of the results. So sometimes we just go out there and we're just like, sometimes it's like spraying and praying, but really I suppose what we should start looking at is who are our ideal customers that we should be focused on. Let me just give you a quick analogy where the people in your database sometimes sit. I remember back just recently earlier this year in January, my daughter's gone running, she's gone for a spill, and as she's fallen, she's actually chipped her tooth. And apart from like she's looking at herself going, Dad, I look not great, she had some nerve damage. And so what do? I ring Dr. Hooper, who's our local dentist, and I said, Doctor, can we get her ready? He said, yep, I've got my last appointment at 6:30, bring her in at 6:30 tonight. And I'll tell you this story because there's going to be people on your database right now that are probably in that position of, they ring you and saying, hey Claudio, we're ready to sell right now. And it could be for various reasons. May have lost their job. It could be, basically getting a divorce. So that's one section of your database that you've got to be thinking about. There's going to be people that are going to come from this emergency scenario. Then you've got the second people in the database. Again, let me just use a dentist analogy. You may have had, at one point of time, like just a bit of a sore tooth. I know that I have. And sometimes I'm like, it's bothering me a little bit. But if it gets worse, I'll reach out to the dentist and then I'll book in for an appointment. Now there's people right there in your database right now that are probably thinking, should I be selling now? Or should I just maybe wait until the market gets better? You start to hone in on some of these people because they're actually thinking about doing something, but I suppose there's a little bit of uncertainty in the marketplace that we're seeing. They're probably thinking, maybe if I just wait another 3 or 6 months, the market's going to get much, much better. But the reality is, knowing where the market is, and I talk about this property clock, we're still pretty much going down into the bottom of the market. If you look to most economists or the commentary that we're hearing, it's about another 5-10% to drop down. But here's the thing, and if you start looking at these people, I just want to draw something up for you. Number one is, there is so much tension out there, right? So you've got people at the moment that have got what we call negative tension, yep. And what you want to try and do is convert that into what we call positive tension in this marketplace, okay? Now, right in the middle here is the word risk. So what you've got to try and do right now at this moment is, how can you eliminate that risk and how can you take negative tension into positive tension? So the first thing is, you can show some empathy, right? I understand how you feel, and there's other clients just like you that have been thinking about maybe we should just wait another 3 or 6 months and see if this market depends on changing. And as you say that, what we found is Bob and Sue that has been on the market, were thinking of going on the market, decided to put their home now, were able to capitalize and get top dollar for their home. But in terms of showing this is, you need to come up with a case study as you storytell, okay? And also, what you really want to start doing is giving them real reasons as to why. Why should I do this now and not wait? So there's going to be some of those people right there in this marketplace, because the third people that are on your database that you're going to be thinking is, for example, and we go back to this dentist analogy, is you go once a year to go and get your teeth cleaned and just get them checked. And I remember when I was there with my daughter back in January, Dr. Hooper actually says to me, he says, so Claudio, when was the last time you had a checkup and had your teeth cleaned? And I said, I'm not sure. He said, my records show me here, it's been about roughly 15 months since you've had your teeth cleaned and checked up. He says, we need to book you in. Now, the whole thing is about understanding how can you move people and start targeting that 20% of the customers that you have. Another scenario of the 20% of customers that you want to sort of play to win, because it's about playing to win the game right now, could be, for example, expired listings. So there's many people in this marketplace, again, that could be wanting to sell for whatever reason, but there's some sort of motivation. They haven't got the result with a first agent. Again, how do you convert negative tension to positive tension with the 20% of customers that are going to give you the 80% of your income? Again, there's a risk. Their risk for them is, why would I want to go with another agent again and spend all this marketing, etc.? How can I eliminate that risk? That is your job in terms of how to move people in expired listing. Again, tell them There's other people, understand how you feel. That's the empathy bit. Other clients, just like you, have felt the same way, like Bob and Sue, who was on the market with a previous agent before. But what they found is, once we were able to identify exactly what stopped the home from selling the first time, we were able to recreate the buyer excitement, re-energize the listing, engage more inquiry. From that, more people came through the open home, which then led to contracts and eventually them selling for top dollar for their home. So the feel, felt, found is another area that you can use, but also targeting and focusing on that 20%, which is the expired listings. Now, one of the other things we look at, playing to win with the customers that you want to talk to. You don't want to be talking to the people you don't want to talk to. One other one that I found is, in this market, as we're seeing, is understanding and defining exactly an A-grade vendor that you want to work with, because I've seen a lot of agents working with the wrong vendors, and sometimes they're spending 80% of the time with the wrong vendors and producing 20% of a result. How about working with those vendors in this marketplace that are actually 20% that you need to work with, and the 80% is going to come in your result? So here it looks like here. An A-grade vendor, be super clear what it's going to look like for you in this marketplace today. Number one could be they're friendly, they're cooperative, they trust you, they listen to you, vendor paid advertising, they're motivated to sell, they refer you business, you're in constant communication with them, they're not hiding from you, they pay you a fair fee and they're respectful. As soon as you start to really work out what does that A-grade vendor look like, okay? And you can tick at least maybe, I don't know, out of those 10 qualities that I might have mentioned, at least 7 to 8, guess what's going to happen? You're going to get results, because they're going to listen to you, they're going to trust you with the process, they're highly motivated, they may have put some skin in the game because, they're committed to the process of selling, meaning they're paid for advertising. As soon as you start doing all of those little things, okay, that's there you go, that's your 20% of your customer you've got to be focused on. Same thing again goes with buyers. What does an A-grade buyer look like today in this marketplace? And if we brainstorm some ideas, it'd be like they're formally approved with their finances, not just, we're approved, formally approved. They've got a property to sell. You don't need to follow them up as much as they're following you up. What's happening with that property? Do you have any offers? Can we make an offer? So they're following you. They're engaging. They're circumstantial type of buyer versus an aspirational type of buyer. They might have engaged a buyer's agent, so they're committed to the process of buying. Not waiting for the market to fall any further. They're ready to do something now if they see the right property. Spent money on building and pests, taken contracts. So soon as you start to get really clear on working what does an A-grade buyer look like and what are the qualities, top 10 qualities, you start to put your focus in the right areas, because you want to eliminate the people that don't want to talk to you. So if you ring someone and they don't want to talk to you, cut them out. And also you want to start playing with the people where you can win the game.